The War of 1812 had been a particularly nasty conflict with the British. They had burned down the Capitol and the White House in Washington and were set on taking the port of Baltimore, which was protected in part by Fort McHenry just to the south. On September 7th, 1814, during the build-up to the attack on Baltimore, two Americans, Colonel John Skinner and a lawyer and part-time poet by the name of Francis Scott Key, had gone out to one of the British ships. They had come to negotiate the release of Dr. William Beans, a friend of Key who had been seized following the attack on Washington. The British agreed, but all three had learned too much about the forthcoming attack on Baltimore and so were detained by the British on board the ship Surprise until it was over. The attack started on September 12, 1814, and after an initial exchange of fire, the fleet withdrew to form an arc just outside the range of Fort McHenry's fire. Skinner, Beans, and Key watched much of the bombardment from the British deck. The major attack started in heavy rain on the morning of September 13th. Just under 3 miles in the distance, the three men caught glimpses of the star-shaped fort with its huge flag, 14 feet long, with 8 red stripes, 7 white stripes, and 15 white stars, and specially commissioned to be big enough that the British could not possibly fail to see it from a distance. In the dark of the night of the 13th, the shelling suddenly stopped. Through the darkness, they couldn't tell whether the British forces had been defeated or the fort had fallen. As the rain cleared and the sun began to rise, Key peered through the lifting darkness, anxious to see if the flag they had seen the night before was still flying. And so it was that he scribbled on the back of an envelope the first lines of a poem he called Defense of Fort McHenry.
Oh, say, can you see, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
As the mist started to clear, he was aware that there was a flag flying. But was it the British flag? It was difficult to tell.
What is that which the breeze o'er the towering steep, as it fitfully blows, half conceals, half discloses?
But finally the sun rose, and with intense relief and pride, he saw that the fort had withstood the onslaught.
'Tis the Star-Spangled Banner, oh long may it wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.